Proper Punters, brought to you by CrossBet. Are you ready to level up your punting game? Welcome back to another week of Proper Punters. I've got professional punter Aaron Macey and new man to the show, Benny Scarf. What's doing?
Not much.
Yeah.
Honoured to be here. To be here.
What is your title?
Oh,
Because we've got
People ask-
usually it's ex-jockey. We've got pro punter, semi-pro punter.
well, people ask me this on Instagram a lot. Like, what do you do? What does this bloke do for a living to plonk $6,000 on a horse like 4 days a week? I'm gonna keep it mysterious. I'm gonna keep it anonymous. I'm just gonna go. Fuck. What should my title be?
Well, it's God of Punt in China, isn't it?
God of Punt. Gudong Shen. Let's go with Gudong Shen.
Good on Jeng. That sounds good.
Perfect.
And then you're keen on one today.
Yeah, I am. Goulburn race 3. Fuck. What's the number? Pardon my language. Number 9. Joiner.
Ooh, good luck.
3:30.
Like it.
We'll be betting the fuck up and riding with Benny.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go through last week for you, Mace. Had a bit of luck last week. Unusual Legacy getting first.
Yeah, he's been a very good horse to me. It's been butchered twice and then come out and won. It was a bit of a laborious win, but he's just a dead set stayer. He's just like one of those typical Kiwis. Comes to Chris Waller and he just keep going through the grades. I think he's definitely a horse to follow. Pulled himself off the canvas on the inner part of the track. It was good.
In regards to placing as well, Iron and Merck came third. I wish I win second.
Yeah,
as
Rachel
well.
King. I'm a big fan of Rachel. I don't know what she was doing snagging it that far back. Had no reason to get that far back, but did say save on the winner Opal Ridge in the chat, so that was good.
So Glyn's run away from us obviously after last week, going 0-3.
Yes, poor Glinny boy's gone Owen, so we're just giving him a little spell just to freshen up.
10 in the bin.
Yeah, 10 in the bin. No, Glyn had a couple of things on, so we called on our dear friend Benny. He's been using the studio for some of his content and got him in.
How's that going, by the way?
Yeah, it's good. Like 95. You put your podcast on Spotify, like the uncut version, correct? I have to cut 98% of what I say. Like now imagine what you see what doesn't get cut and it's still pretty rogue. Imagine what does. So it's a big editing process, but it's going well.
Yeah, that's good. I'd love to see some of that cut. To be honest, now you've intrigued me. Let's go into today's racing. Obviously, we're going to be talking a little bit about Saturday at Doomben, races 6, 8 and 9.
Yes.
Could be a big day.
Getting into deep into the Queensland Carnival, and we're actually getting a proper dry track up there for first time in a while.
Perfect. Well, we'll start off with race 6, the Chief De Beers. Love that name. Spacewalk is the favourite going into this race with a solid top 3 record of 71.43%. What are we thinking for this race?
We'll start off with Spacewalk. It's an absolute shame that he didn't draw a gate, but he was drawn out in 18. Everything bar one horse was drawn inside of him, so I think he comes into about 13 now. As long as the track's relatively fair and you can get offers, I think you should be able to. I think there's good pace in the race. His run first up was enormous. J-Mac on, not that he really lost anything with Nash there. He did cop a little bit of a check at a vital stage. I think he's definitely one of the key chances. I'm going with a probably 2-play race. I'll be backing him, equal staking with a horse who actually beat him at his last start in Dual.
Yep.
Annabelle Nisha had a couple of really strong trials. I think obviously been set to go first up. He's won twice first up out of his 4 starts first up. I think he's ready to go. I think the Nishan camp's actually firing up in Queensland, which is good. They're kind of my 2, and I'll probably head over to Benny. What are you thinking here?
I've gone a bit wider. I'm with Shooting for Gold. It's about $11, $12, around that mark. Double digits. It's first up. Its last race was the Magic Millions up in the Goldie. Pretty good first up record. Looks to be quite a bit of speed in the race, so I'm happy to take it on. Can run well over the top of him. Big odds. Only thing I can really knock about it is Justin Huxtable, respectfully. With the greatest respect to them. In these Brisbane carnivals, I reckon the Sydney and Melbourne jockeys just tend to dominate. Just class prevails. But I can't go past it.
Yep.
$11, I think it's huge value.
Any other horses we're thinking are a bit of outsiders?
Nah, not really. I'm I definitely respect that. I think he also trolled quite well, the old Chestnut Gelding, and I think really good stable in O'Day and Hoisted. So, yeah, definitely respecting Benny's selection there. But sticking with, as you said, with the Sydney and Melbourne jockeys, I also find the Sydney horses. Obviously, I'm a New South Wales predominant punter, and I do like backing New South Wales horses when they go to Queensland and also when they go down to Melbourne.
Definitely. Sydney form stacks up virtually all the time.
It does.
If you see when people win big Melbourne Group 1s, big Brisbane Group 1s, there's Sydney horse dominated a lot of the time.
Very much so.
Blues 13 plus. Let's go to race 8. The ANZ Bloodstock News the Roses. The Scarlet Oak is obviously a proven winner going into this race and is the favourite. Mace, you tipped this horse 2 weeks ago and got a win. Are you going the same way here?
This is a race. So when I looked, I went, fuck, her win was phenomenal. But then you've got, like, you go through this race, there's so many good chances to this race. There's so many of my stable runners, like Gentilicia, declared her last start at Hawkesbury. She's in the race. Big step up for her, but probably still a chance. I've got Scarlet Oak on top. I don't know if she's really unbelievable value. She seems very well found in the market. She's lightly raced. I think she's definitely got the most upside due to that. Her win was breathtaking. Did you watch Scarlet Oak's last win when she came up the inside at Newcastle on that red track?
I faintly remember it, yeah.
Yeah, like it was like the way that she just moved up untouched, put them away in like 3 strides and just ran away with it. Looks a very good stayer in the making, lightly raced. Waller's really good at managing these horses. I'll make comments. Molly Bloom, great last start, had a mare of Mount Buller laying all over her down the straight, doing her best work late. Amazonian Lass kicked away for a solid win. Molly Snickers, fair last start. Good banter, really good win last start. Kind Words, ran into trouble at a vital stage in that last start at Brisbane. Not sure if she runs here or runs in the Doomben Cup. The way I'm probably going to handle this race, though, will be backing Scarlet Oak, and I'm also going to back a horse, Tuda La Vida. I think she comes out of the superior form lines. Had a bit of a freshen up from the Autumn Carnival. Obviously, Carissa thought she's still going well. Trial between that run was just phenomenal. Nash aboard. They're my 2 for the race. Where are you going, Benny?
I'm not as deep as you, but I've gone good banter. As you said, cracking win last start. Beat a Group 1 winner, Autumn Angel. Won the ATC Oaks.
Yes.
Which I thought was an outstanding win. It's $11. Damian Lane, which I think is one of the more underrated hoops knocking about. He's not coming up to Brisbane for nothing. And I think this horse is one of the primary reasons why. It's in peak fitness. Now, it's just had 4 runs this prep. I wouldn't say it's the one to beat, but I think at $11 we're getting an outstanding price. So after his win last start,
yeah,
I have to have something on.
Yeah, definitely. Still, obviously, a lot of them are lightly raced. She's probably more lightly raced than a lot of the field. Yeah, I can say that. I see you got a bit of value here.
I know. It's not generally my style.
I just away from that, just quickly, obviously you're in the tipping space in essence, well, content and a bit of tipping.
Yep.
Yeah, and I found, obviously, betting professionally and then tipping are 2 completely different things.
Yes.
How do you try and find horses at value? I know you've got a little bit of help with students.
People are very unforgiving.
Yeah.
People will see how often you win as opposed to the price of it, and they don't. They concentrate a lot more on how often you win. So tipping, you have to
find winners.
Find winners, which generally speaking means horses shorter in the market.
Yeah.
But then if you don't want to... Yeah, go on.
It's funny on that because, like, I tipped a horse, I think it was on Wednesday. Came up the inside and it's got beaten in the nose and it was $11.
Yeah,
Everyone's like, oh, well done, yeah, great tip, unlucky, da-da-da-da-da. But then you tip something at, like, $2.20 and it's an absolute tragedy. Oh. And then it wins, like, oh, well done. I could have found that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well done, mate. How'd you find that one? It's like, okay, fuck off. But then, if you can... People don't really want to add it up. If you're tipping horses at $10 and one's winning every 8 times, you're going to make a fucking fortune, right?
Correct.
But people don't think that way. People don't think that way. So generally speaking, you just have to find them winners.
Yeah.
It's pretty black and white. Tipping and it's a fine art.
It's a fine art.
Yeah.
It's definitely a fine art. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
managing the one thing I have to say I love about you, obviously, is you're putting your money where your mouth is, and people have said to me, asked a while, like, how do you go with the stress of tipping and knowing that other people are on it? Like, I actually stress going, fuck, I've tipped that, other people are on it. But I think the thing that helps me with it is that I'm probably having more on them than anyone that's following me.
Yeah, I don't give a
you're in a
fuck.
similar boat.
I don't care. I don't care if people have money on it. I just think people, probably people a lot better people than me that worry about people's money and where they're putting their money and whatever else. I'm just like, it's your money. I didn't steal your phone and put the bet on.
Yeah.
You want to back it, back it. I couldn't care less. But like, fire away. But don't come firing bullets at me when it loses. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
But you're also not looking for the credit when it wins, so I guess that's fair enough.
Well.
Fair enough. All right, let's move along with Big
Race
Les.
9, the Doomben Cup. Kovalisha is the favourite and a horse that you guys have backed in the past, obviously, or Mace, you backed in the past quite a bit. Are there any other horses in the mix? Benny, I'll start with you this time, mate.
There is no horses in the mix. This is an absolute moral. Hasn't quite won this prep. Now in absolute peak fitness. Rock solid favourite, well deserved. Just a length and a half behind Numerian. Outstanding horse, and this is outstanding bet. I can't look anywhere else but Kovalisha. 350 around that mark. You, Aaron?
I'm in agree. I've definitely got a clear top pick. He's a horse that I don't think does his best racing in wet. Like, he has place in the heavy, has won on soft, but he's won 5 starts on the good. He's a dead set dry tracker. He gets his dry track. The Numerian run was a real funny run race. Even though they kind of sat and sprinted, Numerian skipped away. He was still doing his best work late, and he's probably, you can still see this doesn't lengthen right out, but his sectionals were still phenomenal. Chris is an absolute genius at finding, like, at peaking horses on grand final day.
Yep.
Nash on, drawn well. I hate saying it, but he's ticking a lot of boxes. He's clear top pick, well found in the market. I think he's by far the horse to beat. There's one other horse I want to make mention of, and it's a horse called Amakura. Chris Lee's mare. Her run when she was third at Flemington over 2,000 metres in the matriarch was phenomenal. Closing off, that run come off a 10th out of 15 in Sydney, where she was hitting the line probably a little bit better than she was last start, but similar. She's not a miler. She really needs 2,000 metres to do her best work, I believe. Trial between runs, really good, and I just love the blinkers first time. This is clearly the race that she's been set for. She hasn't won second up, but she's like shown really good peak-esque runs second up. I think she's great value around the $12, $13 mark. So I'll be playing Kovalisha, and I'll be also making Amakura a result.
All right. With all that in mind, Mace, what are we going here for your best bet?
We're kicking off with a bit of value, going Randwick. Randwick race 1, number 10, Tardelli. Had 2 starts prior last preparation, once behind a node, and then behind Switzerland in a real hot sort of form race. Didn't disgrace himself, beating about 3.7 lengths. Finds, I think, a heaps easier race here. I think the favourite, Pisces, won on a dead set wet track. Looks a dead set wet track. I absolutely love his trials. I think he could be a dead set racehorse, and I think each way value, I'm kicking off there to start with. Next tip is race 6, number 14, It's a Wonder. This horse's run at Wagga last start was just insane. Out the back last, found the way she was able to hit the line against the bias, made up. Horses just don't do what she did, and just a lot of the time they go on and win next start. I think she's absolutely fine once again around the $7 mark, and I reckon it could be a real big bet for me on Saturday. Next, we're going to Doomben, race 1, number 15. Avery was okay first start, but also pulled up 1 out of 5 lane. Since trial between runs, phenomenal. Gets J-Mac with John O'Shea, and I think their strike rate together is just impeccable. I think John picks the times he wants J-Mac on, and I think this horse is ready to fire on Saturday. And next is Doomben, race 3, number 10, Fortuneer, proven thoroughbreds. It's won 3 from 3 last prep. Trialled super. I think finds its right race and looks hard to beat.
Perfect. What are we thinking here, Benny?
I've got a few. Firstly, I like Doomben race 4, number 4, Clean Energy. I know we've tipped a few at Doomben today, but race 4, this looks hard to look past. Gets an extra 200 metres here from its last run. It'll just be outstanding. It was outstanding last run as well. It's a touch shorter than I'd normally tip, around $2.10. But out of the race, it looks the one to beat. Definitely looks the one to beat. One for the multis too. About even money. Randwick race 4, number 4, Quantum Cat. Only beaten a couple lengths. Its first couple starts this prep. Last prep, it had a couple good wins at Newcastle, which were very hard to look past. And I think it can repeat that previous form. I can't remember the exact price. I think it was around 250, 280, something around that mark. And the last Randwick race 10, number 8, Silent Impact. Good little price on this thing, $4.80 the field. It is the favourite. Second up, it's 1 win and a placing from 3 starts. Not bad at all. Should settle on the speed, and I think it'll be hard to chase down.
All right, we obviously can catch all of those bets in the CrossBet app. Make sure you go ahead and download CrossBet if you haven't already. Go to the BTFU hub. You'll find all of our racing and rugby league bets in there. Thanks for hopping off for another week. And Benny, thanks for stepping in, mate.
Beautiful.
Pleasure to have you on.
Thanks, straight in off the bench.
What are you prepared to lose today? Set a deposit limit. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.